Hello chess friends, this is Royal Gambit, and in this video I will show you some traps in the King's Gambit opening. As a bonus, at the end of the video I will show you a game between Adolf Andersen and Lionel Kiserivsky, and what's special about that game is also that the opening used was also the King's Gambit opening. So let's dig into the games here. So first I will show you the opening traps. So we have e4, e5, f4. So this is the King's Gambit. Now here we have two ways black can go. He either captures the pawn or he doesn't capture. So if he captures, we have King Gambit accepted, or if he doesn't capture, we have King's Gambit unaccepted. So in this situation we have King's Gambit accepted. Usually here white has two ways to go. So here the main line would be to go with knight at f3 to protect h4 square, so the queen cannot go to h4 and check the king. And the second line would be to go knight c4. So both are good moves. In this situation we have knight f3 and protecting the pawn. This is a theory move, so this is a good move. This is usually you should play this. And h4 also theory move from the book. Pushing also theory. So this would be the main line. Attacking the center. Developing the bishop. Striking in the center with the pawn. Taking the pawn. Developing the bishop and protecting. So this would be the main line. So in this scenario, what white achieved is he developed his pieces. His has a lot of development. He can castle, he can take the pawn here. So his center is pretty much all over the center. So this is what he achieved. So nothing special here. But I think I would rather play white in this position. Either the computer says black has a slight advantage. So if you see the bar is slight on the black side. Okay. So let's see a different approach. So we have again King's Gambit, unaccepted. So this would be the main line. This is known as the counter gambit, when black plays d5. So this would be the counter gambit. This is kind of boring. You capture, he captures. Good moves. Nothing special here. But this is how you should reply to the gambit. So like that. So this would be the counter gambit. Okay, we have another situation. King's Gambit accepted. Developing the knight again for the same reason. striking in the center, attacking the pawn again, because usually when you play King's Gambit you want to dominate the center, you give up the f pawn for a central pawn, so you dominate the center. This is why you sacrifice a pawn in this situation. And here black takes, white takes, developing the bishop and pinning the knight here. So if he takes here, just showing, if black would take here, his next move would be check. So let's say white does something like this, something irrelevant, then black takes, check, and then he needs to protect to block the check. But this is not our scenario here. Here white is preparing a trap. If black doesn't take care, then we would have, for example, if he takes there, thinking now he's got white needs to take that bishop, then he finds himself in a trap, because after f6 we have checkmate. It's checkmate because king cannot escape because of the knight, and king is in check from the knight and from the king, so it would be double check. This is checkmate. Let's see a different approach. Again, King's Gambit accepted, knight f3, developing the bishops. Again, pinning the knight. You'll see a lot of times this move, pinning the knight, so after taking he has this check. This time white has a good move here. He's attacking two pieces at once. Here the bishop can take here and the queen can take here. So they cannot be protected both. Black chooses to protect f7 with take, and now he's attacking the rook. Now in this situation he cannot protect the rook, because if he goes queen, this would be a blunder, of course. Even computer says it's a mistake. I would say it's a blunder, not a mistake, because after bishop b5, the queen is pinned, so at next move you take the queen. For example, he takes here, you take, and you also take after that, you take the rook. Even worse, if he takes like this, you first take here, with check, after king moves you take the rook. Now he might take here, you push, if he takes here you take another bishop, and in this situation the knight here is pinned. For example, he plays this, so you're really crushing here. Okay, so we had this. So instead of blundering the queen, you take first the bishop, getting out with the knight, and you get a rook. So in this situation, if you count the pieces, you have rook versus rook, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and you are a rook up. So let's see another one. Again, King's Gambit accepted. Knight gets out, same to protect h4. So the purpose of this move was to not let to protect these two squares. So another bishop gets out on c4. Again, attacking both, but in this situation I'll show why it's important that white protects this pawn and not blunder like this, because of check, and wherever white goes, for example here you have checkmate, and if he goes here you have checkmate. So this is another interesting trap. So I hope you like the trap videos, the traps I showed, and now let's see the nice game between Anderson and Kiseritsky. I hope I pronounce his name correctly. So, by the way, they have really good ratings here. So 2600 and 2480. So really good ratings. So let's see the game. e4, e5, f4. So we have the King's Gambit accepted. Developing the bishop. So you will not see that often. Usually they go out with a knight. Queen checks. And f1, king f1. Attacking the bishop. Taking the pawn. And developing the knight, also attacking the e4 pawn. Knight f3 attacking the queen. Queen needs to go to safe square, so queen already protects the pawn on f4. This is to protect the pawn on e4, and also attacking the pawn. Now this is an interesting move. Here black, of course, at this level this wouldn't work, but maybe for a beginner player you can make this mistake, let me say like that. He tries here to check, and if the pawn takes, then the queen takes rook, and check. If the pawn doesn't take, let's say you move then with the king, then the knight takes the rook, so he would win the exchange. But of course this doesn't work, but this is an interesting move. So he blocks here. If the same wouldn't work anymore, if knight g3 check, then you capture, and queen cannot take anymore the rook, because it's the knight here which is protected by the rook then. So this wouldn't work anymore. Let's see what black replied. Attacking the knight. Not only the knight, so he's attacking the knight and the bishop. And this is the only move that protects them both. Attacking the bishop. He's got an intermezzo move, intermediate move, so, or in between move. So he says, if you take my bishop, I take your knight. knight gets out of the trouble. Another interesting move, he's saying he's giving up the bishop here, and he's kind of showing why this works, because now he's attacking the queen, attacking the queen again, only safe square for the queen, and the queen f3, threatening to capture with the bishop here, and the queen has no squares, no available squares. Here is the pawn, here is the knight, here is also the knight, here would take the rook, so this is why he gave up that. So let's see what black replies. Setting up for next game, as somebody would say. So he's of course making room, so the queen has some squares where she could go. Same move, and queen f6 to save square. Also developing the knight, and here developing the bishop with tempo, so, or not really, because white doesn't care about the rook, because there is an in-between move, so this is stronger attack. Queen needs to move, taking the pawn, and bishop d6, a really interesting move and really good move. So so here, if black takes, we have check. Here, if king goes here, then this would be checkmate. So takes, check, then he goes there. Then we have another check, kings go back. Then we have another check, kings go back again, and this would be then checkmate. So this is why capturing the bishop would be a blunder. So here he decided to capture the rook, or I would rather say white decided to give up the rook, because here we have a nice pawn push, e5, and pretty much he decides to give up both rooks for the attack. And now we have king e2. If he didn't protect this square, then it would be check. After king goes there, checkmate. So it's the reason why he protects c7 square. But in this position we have check, king d8, and what do you think white played here? Try to find the move. You can pause here and try to find the move. Okay, I'll show the move. A check, queen sacrifice needs to be taken, and nice checkmate with only 3 pieces cooperating here. Brilliant. So I hope you like this game and this video. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, and till next video. Goodbye.